The GlobeTheater was an icon of Elizabethan England. However, it was most influential in the lives of 4 women. Women had a stationary life. They were totally dominated by males, no matter the relation. An instantaneous acquiesce required. The theater was no exception to the inferior state given to all women. Juliet was a patron of the theater for years and looked forward to every production. She was raised in a castle with many servants. Catherine was full of spirit, yet obedient. She was spiritless and yearned for something more. Her family chose her spouse, and it was her duty to run the household and provide children. Juliet had everything she could want except her heart's desire, to perform on stage. She was a vivacious redhead who wasn't afraid of anything. Elizabeth was beautiful and known by everyone. She was highly sought and a prize to be had by any available man. Edmund was Catherine's husband. As a dominant, he was often overprotective. He wouldn't allow Catherine to get out of his sight. Victoria was flamboyant and always pressing the limits. She began by desiring to joust. She knew it was forbidden and was internally torn. Her struggle ended with her following her desires and jousting. As religion was utmost important and the guiding principles for life, Catherine and Elizabeth went to pray about their heart's desire. They knew their desires were astray. It was said, woman, in her greatest perfection, was made to serve and obey man. As the 4 women met outside, they discussed their heart's desire. Each one of them desired to entertain. Being inferior and bound by the wretched rules was agonizing. Catherine had a brilliant idea. As the dissension rose, the girls couldn't take it anymore. This was no life to live. It was degrading and miserable. They decided it would be better to be dead than to have to continue in such treachery. They renounced the ways of society and procured the arrangement. They disguised themselves as men after many preparations. They observed the mannerisms of men and practiced their voices. They were quickly immersed in the theater. After months of performances, it was rumored that Juliet had been captured and was to be beaten. They checked the carriage that always brought her to the theater. She wasn't there. She had been taken to the torture room to suffer the greatest punishment. She was stretched. The agonizing pain was nothing compared to the pain of not entertaining. When word reached Catherine, her spirited personality could not be contained, and she shot the theater with a cannon, causing complete destruction. As much as theater influenced their lives, they began a revolution that would change society and equalize women. After hundreds of years, the GlobeTheater was rebuilt and women were given the right to entertain. These women were not able to see the positive effects of their crusade, but their legacy lives on.